One of the biggest missed opportunities in real estate sales is staying in touch with your clients and keeping them informed about what's happening in the real estate market between sales. If you want to eliminate the term past client, which you should, by the way, and keep your clients informed about what's happening in the real estate market, you should be conducting annual real estate reviews with every single person that you sell a home to. You can also do these annual reviews with anyone else you know that owns real estate, or those people who ask you the most famous question in real estate. How's the market? So let's take a little field trip here and I'll show you exactly what I like to do to start preparing these real estate reviews. Okay, so we're gonna start here by going to visit the Federal Housing Finance Agency's website. They put together some great reports and we're gonna use one of them to start putting together this review. So what you're gonna wanna do is go to www.fhfa.gov, that's their website. And here we are. There's a lot of other reports that they put together, but what we're interested in is the house price index. And it's actually pretty easy to find because they have it right here on their homepage. If you just scroll down a little bit, there it is, house price index. And we can click this link here and get the latest house price index. And you'll see that they put this report out monthly. We're interested in the quarterly reports because that has the information that we want to share with our people. And you'll see the most recent one is 2Q 2018. So it's always going to be a little bit behind. Obviously, third quarter is not done yet, but we're going to start and look at this 2Q 2018. The third quarter probably will come out sometime closer to the end of that third quarter. But here we are, 2Q 2018. If you've never seen one of these reports here, there's some information here that kind of talks a little bit about the report and what they've seen, a little summary. And if you click on this down here, it's going to take you directly to the report. It's an 80+ page report. It's a lot. We're not going to go through all that information. We don't need all that information, but there's some important things that we do want to pull. If you've never seen one of these again, these first couple of pages have some information for you. There's even a link to a video explaining what the house price index is and how they discover it. So click that link and Andy will be your guide in understanding what that is. But let's go back to the report and start looking at what we want to pull to start putting together this great annual real estate review for our clients. Okay, so let's start by scrolling down to some national data. Now you'll say, why do we want to share national data? Well, your clients watch the news. They may watch CNBC or Fox Business or any of the other business networks, and they're getting information. They're talking about what's going on in the real estate market, and a lot of the stats are national stats. So we want to start with some numbers that they're familiar with. And I like to start with this chart here that's on page 11. And it shows the house price index for purchases only over time starting in 1991. So we can see here what happened with prices, the run up to the crash here. You know, late 2000 or early 2000s coming up here to 2005, markets started to kind of go a little flat, and then boom, 2006, 2007, boom, big drop. Things starting to go down. We all remember those days. This little blip right here, yep, that's the bailout money. This tiny little blip right here, that's the first-time home buyer tax credit, which in some markets helped actually drive some upward appreciation. That's why you see the little line go up a little bit for that little time, but then it just kind of continued to go down until it bottomed out. And then here we are today, well ahead of where we were before the market crash. So recovery and then some nationwide for home prices, purchases that is. So good to start with this, kind of interesting. Okay, here's what's happened over time. You know, compound annual growth rate since January 2012, about 6.1% nationally. Good to know. What's happening in your specific state? I live in South Carolina, so we'll take a look at that, but we're also going to look at all other states, right? So all 50 states plus the District of Columbia. I like sharing these two pages here because people have friends that live all over the country, so we want to show them what's happening in their state and also maybe some other states they might be interested in. Here's the USA right here, pegged at 6.49%. That is the appreciation over the past 12 months, period ending second quarter 2018. Here at the top, Nevada, whoa, 17%. So if you bought a home June 30th in Nevada, on average, that home is now worth 17% more 1 year later if you purchased in 2017 and 2018. Holy cow, that is a lot of appreciation. Woo! Over 4% in 1 quarter. Idaho, not too bad, 13. DC, 11.8%, a constant area in the top 5 here. But if I'm doing this for somebody who lives in South Carolina, I'm going to go find that state, and here it is, South Carolina, number 8, 8.33%. If you bought a year ago, on average in South Carolina, you're looking at about 8.33% higher. But that doesn't tell the whole story because that's just the state. What about when we get into local areas? Before we go into that, another thing that you might want to share is this kind of fun chart. Shows kind of appreciation nationwide in a map. The darker the blue, the better appreciation. Notice the concentration here on the West Coast. If there was anybody who experienced negative appreciation, which would mean a decline in house prices, it would be highlighted in orange. So a fun chart to share. Now let's go beyond the state. Let's go into the city level, or what they have here is the metro service area level. So this would be the city and any of the areas that kind of would be considered commutable suburbs or areas or towns related to that. So we're going to scroll through a bunch of stuff here. You don't need to worry about any of these pages. If you want to stop and read them, be my guest. It's not information that I think you need to share with your people. We want to keep this simple. Remember, this should be an easy report to prepare and easy to share. So as we kind of scroll down here, we're going to end up in the metro area statistics. They start off with the 100 largest areas for purchase onlys index, and we're going to skip over that, and we're going to go right to the top 20 and bottom 20. That includes both purchase and refinances. And I like to share the top 20 and bottom 20, even if the area that we're talking about is not listed here, because it's just interesting to see. You'll see in the top 20, Nevada, Idaho, Washington, Nevada, Washington, California, Washington. A lot of that Pacific Northwest. Remember, we saw there, they were ranked pretty highly on the states. We look at the bottom 20, Illinois, Louisiana, North Dakota, Connecticut, Mississippi. So East Coast and South, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. Interesting to see where maybe certain areas are struggling, where other areas are thriving. And again, everybody kind of could be connected to these areas through family or friends, so it's good to kind of see what's going on and also get an idea, okay, where is the market happening, right? Where is the strong markets? Where are the challenging markets in terms of home prices, by the way? Where are the opportunities for investors? Where are the opportunities to maybe stay away from at the moment? This will help you kind of maybe discover some of those and see where the trends might be heading. Now, if your area is not listed here, which the Charleston area, which is where I live, is not listed, we're just going to keep scrolling down, and right after the top 20 and bottom 20, we have all the MSAs ranked in alphabetical order. So we're probably going to have to head over to the second page here, and there it is, Charleston, North Charleston, South Carolina. National ranking 76, 7.84%. So still great growth over the past year, but slower than the state, right? Better than the national average, but slower than the state average. So still really good to see. And you can go through here and look at any other thing that's interesting for you, for areas. A lot of people sometimes are interested in what's happening in New York, for example. And remember, this is the New York metro area. So this will include, there it is, New York, Jersey City, White Plains, areas that are kind of commutable to the city, and Jersey City and White Plains. 158, 5.5% growth in those areas. So interesting to see what's going on. You can also take a look at the quarter and the 5-year trends as well. Now, this is where I would stop with this report. So you take national data, state data, and MSA data, and that's going to be the beginnings of your report. And where do you go to next? So now you can go into whatever other tools and services you have at your disposal for local information. Maybe your MLS has something, maybe your brokerage has something that you can use, or maybe you actually download some information and create some charts on your own. Share some trends that are going on. You can look at supply and demand, you can look at median home prices. I wouldn't get into too many heavy specifics. Use something that you can easily track year to year, quarter to quarter, for this type of report. And then the last thing you want to include is a few sold properties in the neighborhood of the person that you're conducting this real estate review with. And just sold comps. So maybe 5 or 6 sold properties, maybe 3, no actives, no under contracts. This is just a report to help guide them, to show them what's been happening in the market and where home prices are kind of going and where they currently are. We're not pricing their house. So we're not going to use any of those automated value metrics. We're not going to give them an opinion here. We want this to be easy. You don't want to go and spend an hour or 2 hours doing research. You want to pull this information, put this report together in about 15 minutes or so that you can package it up and go have a conversation with your people. Now, when you're actually going to go out and do these, don't surprise people with these reports. Make sure they know it's coming, and you can do this in several ways, right? With anybody you've sold a home to recently, you can call them up and say, hey, it's time for your annual real estate review, particularly if you set the stage, right? If you have closings this week, tell your clients, hey, my services don't end here. Every year, I want to make sure you know what's going on in the real estate market because it's important for you. Whether you're thinking about taking out a home equity line of credit, doing a renovation, or if the market's really appreciating or depreciating and you want to make sure your insurance coverage is tracking your home value so that you're appropriately covered, this is a good report for you. So you know what's going on, you can talk to these other people and make the right decision for you at that time if a decision needs to be made. That's what you can do with your current clients. Set them up, let them know this is going to happen every year. Those people who ask you the most famous real estate question in the world, this is great for them. You can follow up on those conversations and say, you asked some great questions. I put together some really interesting information for you that I think you're going to like. It's only going to take about 5 or 10 minutes. When would you like to get together to go over these things? So remember, do these with people who are expecting them. Don't surprise it on people. Don't say, hey, let's go out for lunch and then be like, boom, real estate review. We don't want to surprise it on them. We want to add value. We want to be their advisor. Your financial advisor is not going to all of a sudden surprise you with, oh, by the way, here, we're going to look over your portfolio. No, they set up an appointment to do it. And this will help you eliminate that term past client. Because if you advise your people year to year, they're your clients. You're their advisor. You're their trusted real estate advisor. And people ask, oh, what's that? Oh, my real estate agent, my advisor, he does this for me every single year. That is some serious value add. So this is an easy way to get started. Don't overcomplicate it. Make it simple. Do a couple of these a week. If you want to start small, do a couple a month, a couple a year. Get these done. Your people are going to love it. You're going to add some value and you're going to level up your expertise as well because you're going to be seeing what's going on in the market broadly beyond just your local market. It's going to give you a lot more information to talk about with your people. So have fun with these. Good luck and have a good day.